Hi students, coming to the next topic is the chromosomes. We know about the importance of the chromosomes. Chromosomes are responsible to carry the genes from one generation to the another generation. Means chromosomes contains DNA. The DNA contains genes. Genes are transferred from one generation to the another generation. See, the concept is here, chromosomes are responsible to transfer the characters from one generation to another generation, right? So, the chromosomes are very important for heredity. Right? We know about the chromosomes already, without I'm expecting, right? See, history of the chromosomes of Mr. and Nageli, right? First identify the chromosomes in pollen mother cells. Of Mr. and Nageli first identifies the chromosomes in pollen mother cells. Pollen mother cells are nothing but, for suppose we know about this is one of the pollen grain structure. The pollen grains are producing from pollen mother cells. The pollen grains are producing from the pollen mother cells. For suppose this is one of the pollen mother cell. The pollen mother cell undergoes the meiosis process. The pollen mother cell undergoes the meiosis process. Okay, in meiosis, four daughter cells are produced. In mitosis, two daughter cells are produced. So here, whatever that pollen mother cells are there, okay, in pollen mother cells of Mr. and Nageli, first identifies the chromosomes, right? And coming to the next one, Sutton and Boveri proposes the chromosomal theory. Chromosomal theory is nothing but heredity. Okay, both the scientists are explained regarding to the heredity based on the chromosomes. Chromosomes are responsible to transfer the characters from one generation to the another generation, right? So the theory is called as chromosomal theory. And coming to the next one is the Waldier is a scientist. He first coined the term chromosome. Who first coined the term chromosome? Waldier. Waldier is the scientist. First coined the term chromosome. And next one is the Fleming. Fleming first coined the term chromatin. Sir, what is the difference between chromatin and the chromosome? All of you, this is the nucleus. Nucleus contains the genetic material. This is the decondensed state of genetic material. The decondensed state of genetic material is called as chromatin. That chromatin undergoes condensation process. Presence of histone proteins, and presence of non-histone proteins. That chromatin. Okay, this is the decondensed state. That decondensed state, genetic material, presence of histone proteins and non-histone proteins. Which are produces the chromosome. Right? Chromosome is the condensed state structure. Right? This is the chromosome structure, or this is the chromosome structure. Right? So the chromosome formed by the presence of histone and non-histone proteins. So chromosome state is condensed state. This is the condensed state genetic material. Right? So this is about the chromosome formation. Nucleus, chromatin, decondensed state of genetic material. Okay, chromatin, presence of histone or non-histone proteins. Right? It shows that condensation. Right? That is nothing but chromosome. Right? That is about that difference between chromatin and the chromosome. Right? Coming to the parts of the chromosome. Coming to the next one is the parts of the chromosome. So within parts of the chromosome, see, first of all, the chromosome having the arms, So chromosome having two arms, especially here, two arms are present within the chromosome. Two arms are present. This is the first arm, and this is the second arm. This is the first arm, and this is the second arm, right? And chromosome having the centromere. See, whatever that the center part is there, this part is the centromere. So, in a cell, we can't see the cell. And we can't see the genetic material. Then how can we identify the chromosomes? Again, here staining process. The cells are subjected to the staining process, a staining agent. And that cells, if we observe under the microscope, then we can identify the chromosome structures. After the staining process, right? See, the arms are stained. The centromere is non-stained region. Centromere is the non-staining region. Right? Arms are stained regions. Right? So here what I am telling, whatever the arms are there, which are stained, centromere is non-stained region. Because the reason is, remember, centromere is the highly compacted region. Or very tightly binded region. Even there is no space to bind. The staining agent also. So highly compacted, very highly compacted region is the centromere. That's the reason why, see, this region is called as non-staining region. And coming to the next one, arms. See, these are also condensed. These are also packed, but not like centromere. Centromere is highly condensed. Okay, these are condensed, but there is a chance to bind the staining agent. Right? That is about the arms of the chromosomes and centromere region. And next part is the kinetochore. This is a very important point. Kinetochore part of chromosome. Sorry, in a chromosome, where the kinetochore is present. The kinetochore is present at the center of the centromere. See, this is the structure. This is the centromere, right? This is the kinetochore. And this part is the centromere. Right? So, within that centromere center, there is a proteinaceous structure is there. Right? The proteinaceous structure is called as kinetochore. This is the protein structure. This is the protein structure. This is the flat disc-like structure. One of the proteinaceous structure, having flat and disc shape. Right? So, see, the kinetochore present on the center of the centromere, made up of with the proteins, right? Having flat and disc structure. What is the function of kinetochore? During cell division process, we have to know this concept. Yeah, this is the one of the cell, right? And this is the spindle operator, right? These are the spindle operators. During cell division process, the chromosomes are, okay, this is the chromosome structure, exactly. This is the centromere and this is the chromosome, right? This is the centromere, this is the chromosome, right? Like this, all these are arranged. See, this is the centromere structure, the centromere having the kinetochore, the centromere having the kinetochore. During cell division process, the spindle operators are binds to the kinetochore. The spindle operators are binds to the kinetochore. Remember what I am telling here. During cell division process, the spindle operators are binds to kinetochore structure. Then the chromosomes are moving towards the opposite pole side. All of you remember, the kinetochore is very important structure made up of with the proteins. It's a flat disc-shaped structure. Okay, the kinetochore is very useful during cell division process because, see, the kinetochore is responsible to bind with the spindle operators. Then chromosomes are separated. Equal number of chromosomes are maintained. If the chromosomes are separated, equal number of chromosomes are maintained. Right? That is about the kinetochore structure. Within chromosomes, one of the important part is also present, right? This is not seen in all the chromosomes. This part only seen in some chromosomes, right? That part is the satellite structure. What is satellite structure? See, we discussed about this is the centromere, this is the kinetochore, and this is the one arm of the chromosome, and this is another arm of the chromosome. In some chromosomes, right, at the end of the arm or the tip of the arm, there is a specialized knob-like structures are present. There is a flat knob-like structures, right? There is a special knob-like structures are there, okay, which are called as satellite structures. See, actually, these are also considered as secondary construction regions. Secondary construction regions. The satellite structures, which are very special, not seen in all chromosomes, which are flat knob-like structures, right? Which are also considered as secondary constructed regions. So, which one is primary constructed region? Centromere. Centromere is the primary constructed region, right? Is there any special knob-like structures are there? These are called as satellite structures. And remember, these chromosomes are called as satellite chromosomes. Right? So, some chromosomes at the end there is a special knob-like structures are present, which are called as satellite structures. The satellite structures contain chromosomes are called as satellite chromosomes. Right? That is about the parts. Right? Parts, and these are very special parts. In chromosome, the satellite structure is the special part, not seen in all chromosomes. Right? Coming to the next one, smallest chromosome and the largest chromosome. See, one of the smallest chromosome. Smallest chromosomes are seen in birds. The smallest chromosomes are seen in birds. Right? Here the size is 0.25 micrometers. The size is 0.25 micrometers. Right? And other one is the largest chromosomes. The largest chromosomes are seen in insects. The size is 50 micrometers. Right? So that is about the smallest chromosome and the largest chromosome. And coming to the next one is, see, within chromosomes, okay, there is in two types of chromosomes are there. For suppose this is the one of the chromosome. This is the one of the chromosome. The chromosome, okay, these chromosomes are called as homologous chromosomes. These chromosomes are called as homologous chromosomes, right? See, the homologous chromosomes are having 4 arms. The homologous chromosomes are having 4 arms, and the homologous chromosome having one centromere, right? So within homologous chromosomes 4 arms are there, right? One centromere is present, right? See, other type of chromosome, this is one of the chromatid. This part is called as chromatid. This part is called as the chromatid, right? Chromatid having here 2 arms. Chromatids are having 2 arms, and one centromere is present. One centromere is present, right? So homologous chromosomes during cell division process, which are divides, produces the 2 chromatids. Homologous chromosomes during cell division process, which are divided, produces the chromatids. One homologous chromosome, how many number of chromatids are produced? 2 chromatids are produced. 2 chromatids are produced. These are the chromatids, right? These are also called chromosomes, but which are having 2 arms. One centromere. But homologous chromosomes are having 4 arms and one centromere, right? So that is the difference between homologous chromosomes and chromatid. Homologous chromosomes and the chromatid, right? So that is the difference, right? See, most of the, okay, I like to ask the one question here. For suppose this is the one of the chromosome. This is the one of the chromosome, right? So generally, okay, chromosome ends are maintained particular shape. The chromosomes ends are maintained particular shape. Sir, why the chromosomes ends are not like this? Why the chromosomes ends are not like this? Why the chromosomes ends are, okay, not irregular? Why chromosomes are maintained one particular shape? For suppose the chromosome shape is, end shape is not like this, right? Okay, not like this. See, the chromosome ends, especially the arm, okay, whatever that arms are there, the ends, okay, the arm ends maintain one particular shape. So why the chromosomes ends maintain this particular shape, and how the shape is maintained? One is why the shape is maintained like that. Okay, for the first question, my answer is, see, the ends, whatever the ends are there, if the ends are irregular, see, there is a chance for the fusion of other chromosome. For suppose, if the ends are irregular, there is a chance for the fusion of 2 chromosomes. Then 2 chromosomes are fused. The 2 chromosomes forms 1 chromosome. Then, okay, the number of chromosomes are reduced. So that is one of the very, very dangerous situation. See, every species contains the constant number of chromosomes. To maintain particular number of chromosomes, the ends also very important. If the ends are not maintained the particular shape, there is a chance for the fusion of chromosomes. Then the chromosome number will be reduced. Right? So here the end shape maintenance is very, very important to maintain the constant number of chromosomes in every species. So how the shape is maintained? See, there is an enzyme is there. Name of the enzyme is the telomerase. Telomerase is the enzyme. That enzyme maintains the particular shape of the chromosome ends. Right? So that is about the telomerase enzyme. End shape. Okay, telomerase is the enzyme, maintains the end shape. Right? And the ends majorly prevents the fusion of chromosomes. Chromosomes. Right? That is about the shape of the chromosomes or shape of the ends of the chromosomes. Right? Coming to the next one, classification of chromosomes based on number of centromeres. Classification of chromosomes based on number of centromeres. See, in a chromosome, only one centromere. Generally, majority of the chromosome, only one centromere is present. For suppose this is the one of the chromosome, right? These are the arms. Only here one centromere is present. So this kind of chromosomes are called as monocentric chromosome. This kind of chromosomes are called as monocentric chromosome. Here classification based on number of centromeres. Here classification based on number of centromeres, right? See, the first one monocentric. Next one is the dicentric. See, this is the chromosome. In some chromosomes here, two centromeres are present. So the condition is called as dicentric or bicentric. Dicentric or bicentric. Dicentric chromosome. Dicentric chromosome, right? So here two centromeres are present. See, in some chromosomes more than three or three, right? So for suppose this is the chromosome structure, one centromere, again another centromere, again here another centromere, right? See, like this, many number of centromeres are present. So the condition is called as polycentric chromosomes. The condition is called as polycentric chromosomes. Polycentric chromosomes, right? So that is about the classification of chromosomes based on the centromere. Based on the centromere, monocentric chromosome, dicentric chromosome, and the polycentric chromosome, right? Again, the last we have one of the important classification of chromosomes based on position of the centromere. Based on position of the centromere. I'll explain now, right? Coming to the classification of chromosomes based on the position of the centromere. Based on the position of the centromere. So in that case, this is the one of the chromosome. This is the centromere. So based on the position of the centromere, here we are classifying the chromosomes into four categories. The very first type of the chromosomes, which are called as metacentric chromosomes. Metacentric chromosomes. See, meta indicates here center. Meta indicates here center. Any chromosome at the center position. Any chromosome at the center position. If the centromere is present, that kind of chromosomes are called as metacentric chromosomes. Metacentric chromosomes indicates here the centromere present at the exactly center position of the chromosome. Center position of the chromosome. So this kind of chromosomes are called as metacentric chromosomes. So these are the two equal arms, the centromere present at the center, right? Which are called as metacentric chromosomes. So the metacentric chromosomes forms the V-shaped structure. The metacentric chromosomes forms the V-shaped structure. So metacentric chromosomes exhibit shape is the V shape. Right? Coming to the next one, submetacentric. Submetacentric. Here submetacentric means, see, the centromere not exactly present at the center. Not exactly present at the center. One arm is long arm, other one is the short arm. Okay, almost close to the center, but not the centromere. Close to the center, but not the center. Not the center position. So one arm is the long arm, other arm is the short arm. So within submetacentric chromosomes, okay, one of the arm is the long arm, here other arm is the short arm. But in metacentric, both the arms are equal. Equal arms are present here. Unequal arms are present here. Right? Submetacentric, this is the centromere position. One is the long arm, other one is the short arm. Submetacentric. See, the submetacentric chromosomes forms the L shape. The submetacentric chromosomes forms the L-shaped structure. L-shaped structure. Right? That is about the submetacentric chromosomes and the shape. And next one is the acrocentric chromosomes. Acrocentric chromosomes. Here acrocentric chromosomes, one arm is long arm, other one is very short arm. This is the very long arm, this is the very short arm. Here centromere present almost close to the end. The centromere present almost close to the end. Remember, okay, centromere not present at the end, almost close to the end. The centromere present at the almost close to the end, right? See, that kind of chromosomes are called as acrocentric chromosomes. Here, acrocentric chromosomes, okay, one of the arm is the very long arm, okay, one of the arm is the very short arm. So here shape is the J shape, and these chromosomes exhibit the shape is the J shape. The chromosome shape is the J shape, right? So that is about the acrocentric chromosomes. And the last one is the telocentric chromosomes. Telocentric chromosomes. See, the telo means end. Telo indicates here end. The centromere present at the end of the chromosome. The centromere present at the end of the chromosome, right? These are called as telocentric chromosome. Especially here, only one arm is present, other arm is absent. Only one arm is present. Within telocentric chromosomes, only one arm is there. Okay, end of the arm, the centromere is present. Here the shape is the I shape. Here shape is the I shape, right? So the shape is here I shape, right? That is about the types of the chromosomes based on the position of the centromere and different shapes of the chromosomes, right? V shape, L shape, J shape, I shape. V shape, L shape, J shape and the I shape, right? These are the shapes of the chromosomes, right? And the types of the chromosomes based on the position of the centromere. And next one, the next class we'll discuss about the, okay, every species means some of the examples are given in NCERT. Some species contains that particular chromosome number. We have to remember, okay, for suppose human beings having that 46 chromosomes, right? So in that manner, chimpanzees, right? Okay, 48 chromosomes, right? So here different types of organisms contains the number of chromosomes. Some examples are given in NCERT. We have to remember. We'll discuss in the next class, right?